What's up YouTube? This is Foxtail Digital coming to you again with Black Girl Stocks. And in this video, we're gonna break down the SuperTrend indicator and how you can use it to make more money with your trades. So this is really one of my favorite indicators at this point because it gives you clear buy and sell signals. So if that's something that you're interested in, then stay tuned to watch this video. So please make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any new videos. Okay, so I know I've said this a lot on the channel. The trend is your friend. Okay, so the easiest style of trading that you can do is definitely trend trading. With that being said, what is the super trend indicator? Clearly, as the name implies, the super trend is a trend following indicator. So something like the moving averages that you can use on your trading charts to highlight a trend. And you can use this with stocks, ETFs, crypto, Forex, whatever. Now, I'm going to be using the Webull desktop because that's what I personally use the super trend on the most, but you can use this with any platform that you're using. So I know TradingView has it, MT5, Thinkorswim. First, let me just show you how to set it up in Webull. Right here, we're in the Webull desktop, and all you would just do is go to your indicators and put the super trend. And if you don't see it here, just go to all indicators. So boom, there it is. So you're gonna see two sets of arrows with a colored line that follows it. So green is going to mean that we're in an uptrend and red is the beginning of a downtrend. Now this indicator is based on the ATR. So if you haven't heard of that, that's the average true range, and that basically measures stock volatility. Now keep in mind, this is not going to give signals of the price direction. It's just going to indicate how volatile a stock is at any period of time. Okay, so as far as the settings go for the super trend, you can just go with the default setting, but you can definitely tweak these to your liking. You'll see two variables here. You have your link or period, so this is the link of time, and then you'll have your factor, that's a multiplier, so a factor at 3. So this is how it comes in Webull. Just know that smaller settings are going to make the indicator more reactive and it's going to give you more signals, okay? And then higher settings are going to give less signals, but they're going to focus more on longer trend moves. So this is going to be a screen with 7 and 3. So this has a period of 7 and a factor of 3, compared to, let's say, if you change the link to 5 and the factor to 2. So you see the difference here. You know, it's just a lot tighter and it does give a few more signals. Now this is on a 15-minute chart. So how can you start using the super trend indicator? You're gonna see here that in an uptrend, you're gonna get the green arrow and you'll see this green line around the price, okay? This is gonna signal that we're in an uptrend. When the price falls below that green line, it's signaling a downtrend. Now you're not going to see that sell signal until the price crosses below the green line. But as with any indicator, there are going to be some negatives and it's not 100% perfect. Well, honestly, truthfully, Webull has changed my life. I love the fact that I'm able to trade on the go with reliable stock charts, good indicators, alerts, and you can't forget that zoom in and zoom out feature. That's critical for me. Critical. I just started getting into the level 2 data, so I love the way that looks. It's zero commission, free is for me, and now I can trade anything that I want. So I can trade crypto, I can trade stocks, options, ETFs, and then they just added fractional shares. Can't forget the paper trading. Webull has everything. One of the most fun things about Webull is their community chat. So now you can go in there and you can actually talk to other traders on the platform. You know, I will say it's very interesting. Nobody is giving out free stocks like Webull, I promise you. Nobody. I just got 2 of these this morning. 2! I'll just say I'm doing my best trades on Webull. Webull is the best app for new investors, so definitely check out Webull. It's the best. Thank you, Webull. This indicator is going to work in trend markets, uptrend and downtrend, but specifically trend. So if the stock is trading sideways and it's not really making a lot of highs and lows, then it can definitely give you false signals. But just see here during the after hours, we're having multiple green arrows, red arrows, but it's not going to give you a a very clear signal because the stock is trading so tight, and it's really not going to show you too much until you're really in a trend. So they said that the stock market is trading sideways about 70% of the time, and the rest of that 30% is when we're fighting for stock breakouts. Okay, so using this in a neutral market is definitely going to lead to more losses than anything. Keep that in mind. So you only want to use this in really, really good trends, just like here. This is clearly a downtrend. Boom. Strong trend, and then hey, the trend changes, boom, slight uptrend. Now it does start to drop a little bit, but it hasn't completely passed the green line, so that wasn't a full downtrend. And then boom, it jumped up again. Boom, that stock price kind of starts to drop a little bit. It does pass that line briefly, but then boom, again, it's in the uptrend. And then right here, you kind of see it kind of starts to kind of trade a little bit tighter towards the end of the day. So to best use the super trend, you're definitely going to want to pair it with other indicators to justify your trades. So these are going to be strategies that you can use to really perfect this indicator. One way that you can use the super trend indicator is with moving averages. You just want to make sure that you have one long and one short. So for this example, I'm going to use the 5 and the 20 EMA. Short is going to be green. The long is going to be red. Okay, so these are our two EMA lines here. Can y'all see that? Now, when the super trend turns green, and then when the 5 EMA crosses above the 20, or when your short EMA line crosses above the long term, buy, okay? Boom, that green crossed above the red, boom, see that arrow, boom. And then right here, I mean, honestly, I really would have liked to get in up here, but I mean, you can kind of get in right there, but towards the end of the day, it gets a little, I don't know, it gets a little tricky. Let's do something else. So you see this price drop here, crossover, red arrow, boom. Oh yeah, okay, I changed the indicator, the EMA a little bit closer. So for the day trading, I'll use something a little bit closer. The short EMA line can be 5, or you can have a long-term 10, 20, anything like that. And then on the opposite, when you see that long-term yellow cross above the green, and then you see the red arrow, boom, that's a great time to get out. It'll kind of signal to get out of that trade. You can get out, like you can have percentages that you want to get out, or you can wait for this crossover and this up arrow, boom. So another method that you can use the super trend with is with the MACD indicator. If you missed our video on how to use the MACD indicator, I'll leave that linked below. But with this method, it's going to be pretty much the same as using the moving averages. So when the super trend turns green, look down at the MACD for a crossover. So you want to see a crossover with the MACD line over the signal. So for me, here the MACD is going to be orange and the signal is going to be blue. So when it's green super trend and then you see a crossover with the MACD, that's a great signal to get in. Boom. I wouldn't wait for that red arrow to get out. I would just kind of wait for a crossover with the MACD. Boom, you can get out there. But honestly, the stock didn't drop too much. And then you see another crossover right there, boom, and then we continue going up. In the morning time, you have to be careful. We did have a crossover, and you see that green arrow, boom, it hits there, but you get this red arrow, and then you see a crossover with the MACD too. This is in the 5-minute time frame. Go ahead and get on out of there. And honestly, it pretty much stayed in a downtrend for the remainder of that day. And even though it had a small little green uptrending arrow, it didn't uptrend very much, and it continued dropping downwards. So one way that you would know not to get into this trade is because we didn't see a crossover with the MACDs right here. So even though we see this green arrow, I didn't really see a crossover here. I want to wait until I see a crossover. You want to wait until you see a crossover and you see that arrow. For me, I would like to see it at the same time, because right here it's just trading very, very close. So when it's trading closer, even with tight, it's trading sideways. So the signal can be a little less accurate in these situations, especially with this indicator. So you definitely want to wait till you see a strong crossover and you see some distance in between, or the MACD line and the signal, and then the same with this. So if you haven't already, make sure that you guys check out Webull for all of your stock trading needs. They have the best on-the-go trading platform with some pretty amazing features and indicators already built in for you. Here's a list of videos with more information about trading using Webull. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you next time. Make sure you click that though. Check out these videos. Webull is awesome. Gotta go to Webull, okay? Yes.